I'm Nancy Showalter, and you're listening to Spirituality for the Politically Incorrect podcast. Welcome, all radical paradigm shifters and creative change makers. You who dare to create a better life and a better world. Tap into the power that resides within you and use that power for constructive change. Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's episode. Last week, we started exploring the human aura, and we talked about the 7 major chakras, which are those energy centers of frequencies that are released to us of energy from the Godhead, the I Am Presence. So we're going to talk a little bit more about these 7 centers in our being. They're really for the release of God's energies. We know from the I Am Presence, the energy descends to us, that part of us in the spirit, while our soul is evolving here in time and space. So we have our 4 lower bodies, the physical, emotional, mental, etheric or memory body. And incidentally, that memory body includes not only our subconscious, unconscious, but also the divine matrix of who we are and what we're supposed to be out picturing in the physical level. So let's talk about these 7 centers of God awareness. We have the energies and the frequency of love that is anchored in our heart chakra, our heart center. And God's awareness of himself as power is anchored in our throat, and it's in the authority of the word. And then we have the vision, which is anchored in the third eye, which is between the eyebrows. That's why they call it the third eye, but it's a frequency of energy, a chakra, that gives us vision. Then we have wisdom, which is anchored in the crown chakra. And then we have in the solar plexus, we have peace. That energy is meant to be the peace and the power of peace in our solar plexus. Then we have God's awareness of himself as freedom in the seat of the soul. And then at the very base of the spine is the purity and the kundalini of the Divine Mother. We're going to talk about today the heart chakra. It's considered to be the most important chakra because it is where the energies of the I Am Presence that flows to us keeps us alive, and when that energy is withdrawn, then we have what we call physical death. And that stream of energy entering through the crown chakra and deposited in the heart is referred in the Bible as the silver cord, or it's also known as the crystal cord. So that is that energy. And when that crystal cord is broken, so to speak, and that energy withdraws from the body, the soul leaves the body, and we have what we call death. But getting back to the heart chakra, the energy that does come from the I Am Presence into our outer physical forms is deposited into the heart. And from that heart chakra, we find that energy being distributed to the other 6 chakras. And then there are 5 minor chakras. There are a lot of different chakras, but once again, we're just going to focus on the 7 major ones. So the heart is described as having 12 petals or energy frequencies that manifest around that threefold flame in the heart, which is the anchor of the God presence, the spark of God within you. And that threefold flame is called threefold because it is a frequency of blue, which is the power of the gold, or yellow, which is wisdom, and the pink, which is love. So those 3 frequencies are meant to be in balance, but sometimes they're not in balance. Most people probably on earth, it's not totally in balance. So balance meaning we have power, wisdom, and love. So say you're out of balance with power. Someone out of balance with power could be very cruel and thoughtless with people and seeing themselves as being more superior, whatever. Someone who has a out of balance, say, with wisdom flame, and the other two are not as developed, that wisdom flame could turn into just a purely intellectual person who has no feeling. And it can manifest in different ways. Now, say you had someone out of balance with the pink love flame. Well, this could be somebody who is very loving and helps people, but really has a lot of ideas, a lot of energy, but no direction, lacking in the blue flame or the wisdom flame. No power to make those things, those qualities, come into manifestation in the physical level. So we want this threefold flame to be balanced. When it's balanced, it actually spins. And it's think of like a washing machine. At least maybe the women would know what we're talking about if the men don't do the laundry. But if you don't put things in that tub equally, then when it comes time to spin, you get this ba-boom, 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 and sometimes it'll stop because it's not in balance. Well, this is very similar to our threefold flame. It could be out of balance and causing disruption in our whole consciousness, or it could actually stop that spinning. And then that becomes a very heaviness on the person and eventually, leads to our death. So it's very important to have that balanced threefold flame. And when it's balanced and when it spins and expands and expands and expands, then it is really the resurrection of our entire consciousness, being, and world. That's the heart chakra. And it's through this chakra where we connect with our divine self. So it's lots of techniques for meditation, lots of techniques to be able to connect to your divine self, but going to the heart, because that's the open door, that is one of the easiest ways. And within the heart chakra, there's even a deeper place, and that's called the secret chamber of the heart from a spiritual perspective. Now, surgeons have said when they're operating on someone's heart, they know there's a certain place they cannot go, they cannot touch with an instrument because it would mean death to that person, to the patient. So we know there is this secret chamber of the heart, which is right at the very core of your being. The kingdom of God is within you, as Jesus said. And you can access that yourself by placing your attention there through meditation, which is a tool to get there. You don't really have to be meditating, but to gain in that experience in a deeper way and gain a momentum, meditation is a very great key. I like to talk about the heart space because our heart emanates an energy frequency, a force field. And you can let your attention move to your heart. Now you can do this in a number of ways. You can think of your heart, see a blazing sun in your chest where your heart is. And then another way that I always like to tell people is if you're having trouble getting out of your head into your heart, then just take some deep breaths, let go, and then visualize a drop of water falling from your head into your heart, and you just go with it. And the ripples of this water is calm, and it just ripples out and ripples out. And then you'll start to develop a sense and awareness of the energy of the heart. And it's It's a heart space, a place that you can be in the oneness with your divine higher self. And when you're in that space, all is well. You are present. And this is why it's so important to access this place when life just starts getting very complex or very hectic or whatever. Even if things coming up at your job, things with the kids or your husband or wife or whatever, it's when you need to take that deep breath, let your attention move to your heart, feel and sustain that presence, and then respond to whatever's going around you from that place. So that is the heart chakra, considered to be the most important, and you can see why. Because it is the anchor, the divine spark, the kingdom of God within you. So next week we'll continue with the other chakras and get into a more detailed explanation. So until then, keep an open mind, a generous heart, and a powerful spirit. Thank you for being with me today, and if you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe, download, and comment. I'd love to hear from you, and your support is much appreciated. And don't forget, go to nancyshowalter.com to get your free electronic copy of my book, It's Okay to Be Rich, The Entrepreneur's Guide to Increased Wealth and Personal Mastery, endorsed by T. Harv Eker. And my free mini course, How to Speak Your Success, the shocking truth of how your words impact achieving your goals. I'll see you next week.